Manchester United are kind of the champions of Europe. The Chilean FA are either reckless tweeters or brilliant Twitter trolls. One Eintracht Frankfurt player learns that tattoos can be painful in more than one way. Bobby Wood is staying in the Bundesliga, and another American might soon be joining him. And the USA get a win at the U20 World Cup. It's Thursday, May 25th, 2017, which means happy 38th birthday to former U.S. national team captain Carlos Blackmouth Bocanegra. From Dirty Tackle, Howler Magazine, and the Total Soccer Show, it's the Goalmouth, your daily serving of bite-sized soccer news. Up first, do you love the NIT as opposed to March Madness? Do you opt for Bushmills over Jameson? Do you prefer Pepsi to Coke? Then you, my hypothetical friend, probably very much enjoyed the Europa League final. On Wednesday night, Manchester United won Europe's second-tier club competition for the first time in the team's history, defeating Ajax 2-0. It was a rough game for neutrals, particularly since Jose Mourinho's game plan was to essentially suck the joy from the formerly free-flowing Ajax attack. That's right, folks. Jose Mourinho is a managerial dementor. You heard it here first. United went ahead in the 18th minute, courtesy of a deflected Paul Pogba shot, and then doubled their lead just after halftime thanks to an acrobatic finish from Henrikh Mkhitaryan. The victory was important on a number of different fronts. It means United now automatically qualify for the group stage of next season's Champions League, thereby putting a positive spin on the entire 2016-2017 season. It means that the club has now won every trophy and cup it possibly could, and that Wayne Rooney has now won every single trophy he could possibly win at club level with Manchester United. And, perhaps most notably, it means that Antoine Griezmann is even more likely to be a Red Devil next year. According to the Telegraph's James Ducker, Griezmann now favors a move to the club and wants the situation resolved in the next 2 to 3 weeks before he goes on his honeymoon. Let that be a lesson. Sometimes when they don't have Coke, Pepsi can work out pretty well. Just kidding. That will never, ever, ever be the case. Another player whose future is apparently already a foregone conclusion is Alexis Sanchez, or at least that's the case according to the Chilean Football Association. Chile announced their squad list for the 2017 Confederations Cup, which unsurprisingly featured Sanchez. Somewhat more surprisingly is that the roster listed him as a Bayern Munich player. While that error was quickly fixed, it probably won't help soothe the jangled nerves of Arsenal fans, given that Arturo Vidal recently confirmed that the Bundesliga giants were pursuing Sanchez, and threw his weight behind the theoretical move, stating that Alexis, quote, needs to play for a big club like us, end quote. That's going to make it extra awkward when the two clubs suddenly announce that they've agreed to a swap deal of Sanchez for Vidal. That, of course, isn't actually a thing that's been rumored, but if everyone else gets to make stuff up, then why can't we here at Goalmouth? Speaking of things we can do here at Goalmouth, we can and are offering our listeners a great deal courtesy of our friends over at soccerpro.com. If you use the promo code GOALMOUTH19, all one word, all uppercase, at checkout, you will save 10% off your order. You can get some great gear and support the show. You might even be able to help finance George Qureshi's facial tattoo, which he's totally promised to get if we reach our sales goal. Okay, he hasn't actually, but it does give me a nice segue because, while we're on the topic of poorly thought out tattoos, let's talk Guillermo Varela. The Uruguayan defender has had a decent season on loan from Manchester United at Eintracht Frankfurt. He's missed some time with injuries, but has looked good enough when fit that the German club was considering trying to extend his loan. However, only a few days before their DFB Pokal final against Dortmund, his loan has been abruptly cancelled. The reason? Despite warnings from both manager and club doctors, Varela got a tattoo. That tattoo got infected, and now he's on the injury list ahead of their cup final. That definitely is not ideal. Frankfurt's director, Freddy Bobic, agrees and definitely wasn't too thrilled about the situation, declaring, quote, after this action, Guillermo's time at Frankfurt is over. Guillermo is suspended with immediate effect, and a sensitive and personal punishment will follow, end quote. No word yet on what that punishment will be, though if it follows the trend of how other struggling Manchester United players have been dealt with, he'll be forced to play all of next year on loan at Sunderland. Perish the thought. One man who won't be departing the Bundesliga in unceremonious fashion is Bobby Wood, who is reportedly set to sign a new deal with Hamburg. According to Soccer by Ives, the American striker held off signing a new deal during Hamburg's relegation battle, but now that they're safely in the Bundesliga, he's decided that he wants to commit his future to battling relegation again next year. But that's not the only American goal scorers possibly signing contracts with Bundesliga clubs news. Multiple different outlets are reporting that 17-year-old Josh Sargent, currently playing for the U.S. in the U20 World Cup, has an agreement in place to sign with Werder Bremen. However, that news was contradicted by Top Drawer Soccer's Will Parchman, who tweeted, quote, a source I trust tells me there's no agreement between the Sargent camp and Werder Bremen yet. Everything is still in discussion phase. There's overwhelming confidence Sargent lands in Germany and could be with Werder Bremen, but no handshakes yet, end quote. What Rational Taylor takes that to mean is that Sargent will probably sign with Bremen, but since he's on international duty, there hasn't been anything finalized yet. What irrational Taylor believes is that he's actually going to be starting up top for Bayern Munich next season. This seems totally plausible. Well, okay, it's not actually that plausible, but if he keeps up his impressive scoring record, you never know. Oh, and by the way, that's exactly what he did today, as Sargent scored the only goal in the USA's 1-0 victory over Senegal in the U20 World Cup. The win puts the Americans on top of Group E with 1 game to go. Senegal are second with 3 points, and the USA's final group opponent, Saudi Arabia, are third. They also have 3 points, having defeated Ecuador 2-1 earlier in the day or morning, depending on your geographic location, because the difference in time zone between Korea and the east coast of the United States continues to confuse me. Tottenham's Cameron Carter-Vickers started for the USA in the heart of their defense, replacing Tommy Redding, who struggled in the first match. One gentleman who also wasn't present was Arsenal's Gideon Zelalem, as ESPN are reporting that the 20-year-old tore his ACL in the tournament opener and will now be out for the next 9 months or so. That's more bad news for Arsenal fans, though somehow I'm guessing the potential loss of Alexis Sanchez remains slightly more disconcerting. And with that, we've come to the end of yet another Goalmouth episode. You can explore all these stories in more depth by subscribing to our newsletter. The link is in the show notes. I've been Taylor Rockwell. Ryan Bailey will be with you tomorrow. Until then, here's your Goalmouth top tip. When it comes to tattoos, maybe don't skimp on the disinfectant.